What's up, folks? Gabe Montgomery here, 10 Horse Money YouTube channel. Thanks for checking this out. We're going to talk a little bit about this new frog that came out by Snag called the Launch Frog. Been throwing it around a little bit and want to kind of talk to you about what I have learned about it. First of all, I will say it's got a very, very soft body. Super soft body. One of the softer frogs that I've ever thrown. It's got a really big hook. Good hook. It's a upward turned hook. I like that. It's heavy. It's probably about 3/4 ounces. So that's where the launch part comes out. And it does cast very, very nicely. It's got this little disc weight. It's got an internal tungsten weighting system. I don't know if you can see this, but the hooks are actually wrapped together so they're not going to spread out on you. And there's a little bit of weight in there, shrink wrap or something. I can't really tell without pulling it out and looking at it closer. I like this frog. It's got everything you want in a frog. One thing that I've been doing is to trim these legs off. In my opinion, these legs are way too long. But I also know that that's kind of a marketing strategy, and you can do, some people like the longer legs, but what happens with longer legs is the frog doesn't walk very well. On a big thick mat, maybe you want that bigger profile. I just have a feeling that when a bass comes up, they can get these legs more so than the actual hook. So I think, in my opinion, you're gonna miss a few more fish with those, with those legs being that long. So what I'll do is, a good rule of thumb is to grab this skirt, come up about the eye. Good reference point is the eye. So if you take your skirt material, bend it up to your eye, so right in here, that's a good place to cut that sucker off. So you can just kind of hang it right here and just make you a cut a little bit of that off. Just trim that sucker down. And if you're mat airy, you need to leave one skirt longer than the other. That way it walks better. It's a little tip for you. If you're Brian Thrift, it doesn't matter. So we'll do the same with this side. These scissors are kind of jacked up, but it'll work. And you got a nice big mess in the bottom of your boat. So there you go. That's going to walk a lot better for you. Other thing I like to do is I will take my scissors and I will kind of feather the outside of this skirt, kind of taper it a little bit. So kind of come up with an angle. I'm going to thin it out. That helps it walk a little bit more. It just seems like the legs can push off the water slightly better. So let's do the same on this. Just kind of thin these legs out a little bit. Something like that. That's probably a little bit shorter than I would have done it. I probably would have left this about 1/4 inch longer, but that's going to work just fine. One more thing about this frog. I mentioned these hooks, these turned up hooks. They are nice, but you're going to have a problem if this frog lands upside down on the grass, because these hooks are sticking up above the body and they're going to catch the grass. So what you've got to do is, as you're casting, right when you get to the end of your cast, you want to kind of thumb your spool, and if the frog's flying through the air like this, when you thumb your spool, it stops that frog and it makes it flip over because the weight is on the bottom. So the weight's naturally going to want to make this frog roll over, and it's going to land on its belly, and you should be good to go. When you throw this frog, when you make your cast, right before the frog hits the water, you want to thumb the spool and it'll make it flip over. So thumb that spool right there. That's going to make that frog land on its belly because it's weighted on the belly. If you don't, it'll land upside down, and it's got exposed hook points. You're going to catch a lot of grass. It's kind of frustrating. Comes through grass really good though. As long as it lands on its belly, no problems at all. And it does have a pretty good walking action. It's a little bit different than a lot of the frogs. You just have to get your cadence down. This frog, it walks okay. You just got to figure out how to work it. It's a little bit different. And I'm getting some pretty good side-to-side action now. Got to figure that out, but it's after, I don't know, 3 or 4 casts, you'll figure it out. It's not that big a deal. But I've been throwing that on a 50-pound braid. I like a 7.4 heavy rod. Kind of gotten away from the longer frog rods. That 7.3 to 7.4 seems to be really comfortable. You just want to make sure, especially if you're fishing in mats, you want to make sure that you got a pretty heavy rod. You know, not weight heavy, but action heavy. It needs to have some butt to it. It needs to have some backbone, because these fish, they'll hit, you'll get the hook in them, and then they go down and you can't get them out. Well, what happens is they usually come off because you just can't keep steady pressure on them. So it's real important to have a really nice beefy rod, not a pull cue. As far as open water, you can drop down to a little bit lighter rod. You know, then you're heavy with a moderate tip. You know, a fast to moderate tip will work good. You need some tip to be able to walk that frog. You can even go with a medium heavy, but you definitely want to stay with braid. I like to keep it around 50-pound braid, and you're going to have to jack them with this, guys. It's got a big old hook in it. I mean, you're going to have to lay it to them, put the meat to them, so you can drive these hooks into the roof of their mouth. But good frog. Some of the colors that I bought, this one I'm showing you right now is the bullfrog. So it's the launch bullfrog. Another color that they have that I bought, this is it's called pitch. It's just basically, it's black with the yellow. It's kind of like the Cali color. It's got all black skirt. Neat thing about these, I like this eye placement. It's a little bit lower on the frog, so you're actually gonna have some of that side, you know, the side stuff's in the water a little bit. You know, that's one thing about a frog, is it really doesn't matter about the top of the frog. It's all about the belly. That's what the fish are seeing. But it is nice to have some chartreuse or something, you know, some white or some chartreuse yellow, something bright orange on the top of that frog. So when you're making a long cast into that mat, you can see where your frog's at. So the top is really for the fishermen. It really is. It's for the fishermen that go into the store to buy frogs. This catches the fisherman's eye. The belly of the frog catches the fish's eye. So this is what's most important when you're looking at a frog. It's the belly. That is called the pitch color. Yeah, pitch. Another color that they come out with is called sloppy toad. And by the way, JT Kenny, I'm sure you watch my channel, right? You did a great job when you were on the Mikey Balls YouTube show. That's where I found out about the launch frogs. And after I watched that, I immediately went out and bought 4 of these suckers, because I was kind of looking for some different frogs anyway. So shout out to Mikey Balls and JT Kenny for making Scum Frog some more money. So this frog here is called the, what's it called? I just had it. Oh, sloppy toad. Okay, and it's kind of unique. It's got that kind of brown and red and green pumpkin kind of skirt color, and this little belly is kind of marbled. It's got the bullfrog back, which is for you and me. Wait, you and me, right? So that's it's a kind of a unique color. Apparently, it's, if you got tilapia in your lake, like down in Florida and stuff, this is supposed to be the color. That's what JT Kenny said, so you know it's good. He knows his stuff. And then the other color I bought is called Boneyard. It's just white. Straight up white. Got a white skirt. Got a little bit of pinstripes down there on the side. You got that eyeball that sits down there low. So, would I get some of these frogs? Yes, I would. I like this frog quite a bit. It's got, like I said earlier, it really casts well. It's got that really soft body. Got that really nice beefy hook that, I mean, look at that. That's going to catch them. It kind of sits a little bit down in the water, which is nice, which is what you want. That gets that hook closer to the fish when they do come up. It's got that proper angle. But good frog. I like it. Happy with these frogs. And I like I said earlier, I was looking for a few frogs, just something different to play around with. And I'm going to be getting a few other frogs too, to kind of compare them. As far as size, it's a standard. Let me see what other frogs I got here I can compare it to. As far as size, I'd say it's a medium-sized frog. This is the KVD frog, so you can see the difference in the two. This frog's a little bit bigger. The snag-proof frog's a little bit bigger. The KVD frog's a little bit flatter on the bottom. Here is the Spro popping frog. It's an industry standard. This is a little more finessey frog. Smaller hooks, just a smaller profile. Here's the Booyah popping pad crasher. Smaller frog. This is a little bit bigger frog. And the last one I'll show you, actually I got two more. So this is the Terminator popping frog. You know, these popping frogs are definitely popper shaped. You know, they're a little bit more slender. And then this is the snag-proof-ish frog. This is before the fat papa, I guess it is, or the pad, whatever it's called. Anyway, this is the snag-proof-ish frog. So similar to this. This is just a little bit bigger. This is a little bit heavier for sure, but this is a really good frog too. Hey, I hope this helps out if you're thinking about getting the Scum Frog Launch Series frog. Pretty good frog, I think. Definitely want a few in the box. If you're a big frog fisherman, buy a couple of them. I think you'll like them. They're going to come into play at some point. Good soft frog. So thanks for coming along. Thanks for checking out this this video, guys. Appreciate all the support. And if you want to support the channel, please subscribe. It's real important. I'm trying to get up to 2K here shortly. Subscribe, hit the little bell notification. That way, anytime I'm dropping content, you guys will know that it's out there. That's all I got for you. I'm going to get out there in the water and see if I can catch some fish on these launch frogs. Until next time. We're doing a live stream on Mondays at 7:30 Central. 10 Horse Monty, Backyard Bassin. You can click on either channel to get access to that live stream. We've got special guests on. We've got people from the fishing industry. We got guides, just local fishermen, just kind of a group of collected other YouTubers, just a eclectic group of folks that have fishing backgrounds of all sorts, shapes, and sizes. So we invite you to come on there, check it out, leave any kind of comments, questions, and comments about these frogs. Have you fished these? What do you think about them? I forgot to ask that. I'm real curious if you've had a lot of success with these or if it's just been a crapshoot. So live stream Mondays at 7:30 Central, and comments on the frog. Until next time, guys. It was a bite. That was a bite. It was a little fish.